Imagine, if you will, with me a moment. Does everybody know Luke Skywalker, Star Wars? Everybody familiar, right? Everybody's raising hand back there. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, you remember that movie? What would have happened if Luke Skywalker actually never met Obi-Wan Kenobi? He was never mentored by Yoda. He never learned how to use his lightsaber. He never actually encountered Darth Vader, fought him, and overcame the evil empire. What would that movie have been called? Well, it probably would have been called Car Wars, because he goes back to Tatooine, his home planet, and ends up selling hovercraft over time. He doesn't reach his potential. Or what about the movie The Karate Kid? Does everybody remember The Karate Kid? Yeah, right? So we had Danielson in there. Danielson was bullied. But what happens if he never learned how to fight? He never learned about overcoming his limiting self-beliefs that he had. He never met Miyagi. He ends up actually getting waxed off. Well, that movie would have been called The Coward Kid. What about the movie Remember the Titans? Everybody remember the Titans? But what if Coach Yost and Coach Boone didn't overcome their prejudices? The team didn't practice well together, and they end up being last in the conference. The movie title would have been No One Remembers the Titans. Right? But that's not how we remember those stories, is it? We actually remember young Luke that did meet Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was mentored by Yoda. He learned how to use that lightsaber. He overcame the evil empire with his team. Did a great job on that. Also think about Danielson. He did. He met Miyagi, and he was actually mentored by him. He did. I saw people in the crowd doing the wax on and wax off, right? He fought. He won the championship. It was a big deal for him, right? Big piece in his life. And then last but not least, of course, everybody remembers the Titans. Don't you? And why? It's because Coach Yost and Coach Boone and the team overcame their prejudices. They practiced well, and they actually won the state championship. That was a remarkable story, a journey, a hero's journey. There's two things that I think that all of these stories have in common. Number one, they weren't heroes when they started their journeys, were they? But they all had potential. They did. They had the right stuff. They had the talent. And what they had to do is develop that. But as they had that potential, they actually had to go through a transformation process. Just like this butterfly did, from the caterpillar to the butterfly. They had to go through some type of development, some type of journey, some type of capability building to get to the other side, to be successful and useful to reach their potential. Now, I want to ask you a couple questions. What would it look like for you if you reach your potential? What would it look like for your friends, your family, your team, your company? What would it look like if you reach your potential? Let me ask you the flip side question and consider the other side. What would it look like if you don't? What would it look like if you don't reach your potential? Statistics show that 25% of us in this room, only 25% of us, will actually pursue a career and development plan. We can be better than that. But the reasons I hear all the time is I don't have time. I don't have the resources. I don't have the support. Well, starting today, if you didn't feel that way, you do. And we all have a choice. We all have a choice. Development, career development, and personal development, individual development is a choice for all of us. And if you choose not to, it's called wasted potential. There's a quote that a Nobel Prize-winning composer said. He said this. He said, "Hell begins on that day when God grants us a clear vision of all that we might have achieved, of all the gifts that we wasted, of all that we might have done that we did not do." Unrealized potential is a tragic waste. We don't want to waste the potential in this room. And why? Put another way, based on all the stuff that you saw Michael and the team go through earlier, I firmly believe that growing people grow companies. Does that make sense? Growing people grow companies. And that will be the theme through today.